So we have that. Okay. So I forgot to print before I left for the hotel last night. So I got to look at my phone to read my notes while I'm doing this with you guys today. So I'm going to share my screen here in just a couple minutes. So we're going to start off by talking about goal setting. So goal setting is one of the most powerful things you can do for your business. You want to think about what will move you forward the most in your business. So write that phrase down and keep that like somewhere, because you always want to be thinking about what's going to move you forward. Is this task that I'm doing, is that going to help me move forward? So for example, what do you have to do when you're getting ready to go on vacation? Go ahead and answer me, guys.
Get your clothes, decide what the weather's going to be, find out what's going on and what you're going to do, and plan ahead for what you're going to wear and what you're going to need.
Right. So you have to pack. Well, probably do the laundry first, even.
Yeah.
Right. Make sure you got clothes for the trip. And if you're going somewhere where it's like a different season, like Wisconsin right now, we're wearing, sweaters and pants and winter jackets and stuff. But if you're going to Florida, obviously, you might not need all of that stuff. So you got to make sure that you're organized that way. You have to make sure like somebody's going to pick up your mail or get your mail stopped. You have to figure out are your kids coming with, are they not going with? You have to figure out somewhere. Like my newest thing is we just booked a week-long vacation at a cabin up in Wisconsin in the summer. And I have to figure out, hopefully the dog kennel can take the puppies that week. You know what I mean? So that's new for me. We just got puppies in the last 6-7 months here, Kristen. So I've never had a dog in my life. So this is all this stuff is new for me. So you can't just kind of fly by the seat of your pants. I mean, there is road trips, little things that you can do fast and go, but usually if you're going on a vacation, you have to plan it out. Yes. Even to the point of don't you sit and think about where am I going? Where are we going? And then what can we do there? Is it going to meet what we want to do? So you have to figure out all of that kind of stuff. Where are you exactly headed on this trip? You would have never gone to all the trouble to schedule a vacation without knowing where you're going. Do you know your destination? So why should your business be any different? Why would you purchase a kit, order catalogs and supplies, set up an office, and not know what your goals are? A vacation is just a week or, week or two. Your business is for much longer than that. Your Pampered Chef business deserves the same amount of thought, planning, and preparation than a vacation does. Why did you decide to join, or why did you buy a kit if you weren't going to work? There is kidnappers. Don't get me wrong. There is people that just get a kit and they have no intentions. But we have had, I can speak for this right here, that we've had a lot of people that had the intentions of being kidnappers, and they've moved up in the company and they've done amazing things. So yeah, you just never know what somebody's going to decide once they start this business. They might just think, oh, I'm going to do one show a month just so I can pay my, cell phone bill or something, whatever, pay for the babysitters for the month or something. And it could be way more for them than they realize. So setting goals in your business is like deciding on a vacation destination. Okay, so clear goals increase your confidence and increase your levels of daily motivation. Attitude is everything. And if you're thinking about goals all the time, you become what you are thinking about. You kind of train your brain. I too, I always kind of like to think about this, or I kind of like to talk about this, because I was a person that did not know how to goal set. I grew up in a very, very loving family, very, awesome family. But my parents, were both from pretty low income housing or, low income houses growing up. My mom was from 10 kids. My dad grew up on a farm and they moved to Janesville. My dad got a job at General Motors and it was a big leap of faith to do that. They were just not those people that like took risks at all. Like that was like the hugest thing that they ever did was moving, 5 hours away from their family. And my parents never taught us that. We were never taught to be to dream big. Not that we weren't loved and nurtured, but we were never like, it was always like the skeptic part of them came out. And I remember when I told my mom I was going to start Paper Shop, she was like, oh, what are you doing? Like, you cannot do that. You're going to lose so much money. And she just was terrified. And honestly, it's kind of been like one of those fun things to like, mom, look what I'm doing now. So like, it's fun. I love to show them, like, not like, mom, guess what? Oh, that's what I just did. But it's been even pretty amazing for my mom to like watch my process over the last 20 years and see what I've really built for myself and for my team. It's pretty awesome. So I did not know how to do that. I was never kind of shown how to do that. Hold on a second here because I want to make sure. Okay, yeah, I'm going to finish talking about this first, and then I'm going to show you the slide. Okay, so goals are clearly the roadmap to your business. Do you want to just be paid for $150 a month by staying active? Or do you want to be paid at your consultant level every single month or whatever title you are? To be paid at title. That is a very important thing that we try to have you guys strive for, is to be paid at title every single month. You wouldn't have signed up if you didn't. I don't think anyone on this meeting started with just wanting to do one show every couple of months. I think most people, at least, well, not every month, kind of, you didn't want to just do one show a month.
Just one show a month.
Yeah, but I'm even saying like even less than that, like one show every couple of months. I think most people at least had a goal of like one show a month. You know what I mean? Make your goals, write them down, and then make yourself accountable every day for them. You have to say it to yourself every day. I am making this happen. So I am a firm believer of doing positive affirmations. I do a lot of my positive affirmations. I'll do them in like as if things have already happened. Like that's a practice that I was taught. So like one of mine that I say is, I am the owner of $1 million organization, which this last year, our organization sold 600,000. So we're getting there, girls. And I can keep saying that. I am the owner of $1 million organization. I am an executive director with Pampered Chef. I say that all the time. So there's different things you can say. We'll talk about another practice that I do here in a few minutes, but since Sarah is actually on the call, Sarah was one of my people on my team that when I told her, she was starting to kind of want more from her business. And when I told her one of the best things that you can do is to say positive affirmations, she was like, you're such a dork. Like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. She did, right, Sarah? And then you found that it to be very helpful.
Yes. So I'm still not super good at doing positive affirmations every day like you are, but I will say that what was a huge change in my business is I had a party that was outside of my, what they call your circle. So I did not know the host. I didn't know anybody coming to her party. I knew nobody. And I was nervous. I was like super scared. And that day I thought, okay, I'm going to try this. And I told myself, I'm going to go to this party. I'm going to rock this party. We're going to have so much fun. I'm going to get $1,000 in sales. And I am going to get, I think at that time I said 2 bookings and maybe a recruit. Like, I am going to talk about this business to people. And I did all of those. I got a recruit from that party. I booked actually 3 parties And I think her party ended up at $1,100. So I was like, maybe there is something to this.
It is. And you do kind of feel dumb, like when you first start to do it. But another thing that I have gotten told that's a good thing to do is some people will like put their affirmations like on their bathroom mirror. So like when they're getting ready in the morning then they'll say them. And really what you should do is they'll tell you to say them out loud. It's very powerful for you to hear it. You say it out loud too, instead of just kind of like saying it in your head. So say it out loud. So some people will have it like, they'll have like them printed or something in a location that like they basically have to go to every day. So a lot of people do it like in their bathroom. They'll have it like printed in like where their makeup bag is, and then they'll take it out and do it. I mean, I'm not like that person that like does it in the mirror necessarily, but I do try to do it. And I do have like, we'll talk about it in a few minutes, but like I have a journaling system that I do and talk about gratitude in there too. And that's a really important thing too. And that can really be helpful with your business. I have to make goals all the time. That is how I have a consistent show schedule. It's how I earn trips and earn excellence awards for Pampered Chef every year. That's how I've promoted up in the career plan so far. I didn't do it by flying by the seat of my pants. I have to plan it out. I was not good at that either, like I said, because I did not know how. Was never kind of taught how to do it. I'm still by any means not perfect at it. I was never taught how to do this. I didn't even know where to start. People don't know how to do it because they don't set goals because they're afraid of failing at them. That's another thing. So we talk a lot. You'll hear us talk a lot about doing it scared. Just do it. Just take that leap and just give one thing a try. Even if you never do it again, like at least you tried it, and do it scared. That it can be very terrifying, but like Sarah said, she was so terrified of her first party that was out of her circle. You just, and honestly, I always laugh when she says that, because like, I think that's so much easier to do a party to people you don't know, because they don't know you and they don't have any expectations of you. Where if it's somebody,
it is easier. And that is what I learned at that party, is I would much rather do something for somebody that I don't know anybody. So that was definitely something I learned.
Yeah, it's for sure. It's funny. So I want you to share your goals with me. You can just send them to me in a message. And I want you to share your goals with, your director, if I'm not your director. And I want you to even share it. I think this is super, super important. I want you to share it with your partner or your family, your husband or whatever. And we're going to have, this chart that we're going to talk about next. It's going to be in our business Bible that I'm working on. That was what I really wanted to kind of work on last night, and I didn't get that done. So Isaac and Daryl wanted to swim. So I will keep working on that and try to get that done by the end of the week. So we're going to have this business Bible that'll have a lot of things for the whole year for us in it. So I want you to share your goals, though. I think it's super important. I know my personal team, which Lori and Kristen will be listed under that. I did send on my Team Rise page, there is like for me to send your goal. So you can even just do it on that one too. And Sarah, if you don't have something like that for your team yet, I can share mine with you.
I saw that. Are you just sending out like a Google?
It is a Google form. Yeah, it is a Google form. I'll talk to you about it. And because you can just make a copy of mine even.
And Kristen, I just put one out there for me to help you in the team synergy page too. So if you haven't saw that yet.
Yeah. So Kristen, I am your leader. I don't want to say that, but like you guys are all like under me in kind of like the way that it goes in the downline of this company. So I have a director and a national executive director above me as well. But our organization, we call it Bandwagon. So that's kind of like the main page that we try to put all the important things on. But then I have my personal team page that you'll be on. And then Lori, because she has a team, she has her own page too. So then she tries to keep you. So there's kind of like, you'll kind of understand it the more you're in it. It's kind of like crazy at first to like understand where everybody falls into place. So don't like get panicked that you don't know who's who, but just know one of the biggest things for you to know right away is that anytime you have a question and you can't get a hold of Dawn or Lori or myself or Sarah even, just put a message on the bandwagon page and somebody will answer you if you can't get a hold of one of us. Just we all try to be really work together that way, okay? That's probably the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and I'm going to show you this. Okay, so has anybody ever seen this before? SMART goals? Sure, some of you guys have. We have this in our business Bible. So this is how to set SMART goals and what to really think about under each of these steps. And honestly, it's one of those things for me. I'm a person that's very visual. So the more I see this, the more it starts to click in my brain, and it makes the process of goal setting more understandable, more relevant to everything. So we're going to start with the S, and that means specific. What do you want to accomplish is what you want to be thinking when you first start off. Okay, so what am I trying to accomplish? Then you need to think, can my goal be broken into smaller steps? So what do I need to do to get there? How can I break this down? So like if you're thinking about like a trip, we just got announced our trip for the next year. So our trips go from January through December, the earning period is. So what do I need to sell? Like for instance, to break it down, what do I need to sell each month so I can earn the trip by December? Or you could break it into like quarters. What do I need to do in the next 3 months to keep me on track for earning the trip incentive? So that's how you could break something like that down. Your goal should be as specific as possible and answer the question, what is your goal? So how often and how much do you need to work towards it? Or what do you need to do? And then where or when it's going to take place. So then like my trip is going to take place in May of 2023. I can't remember for sure, but I'm just throwing that out there. And then what is going to move you forward? So what are the steps that you're going to need to take to make you move forward with that goal? And not everybody has a goal to earn a trip in this company. Not everybody does. Not everybody has a goal to earn excellence awards. Excellence awards is the earning period is June 1st through May 31st. It's more on a fiscal schedule. That is the top achievers in the company, the top 1% basically, in sales, in recruiting, in developing directors, and organizational sales. So there's different things, but I mean, a goal for you could simply be, I want to have 4 virtual parties a week. So then what do I need to do to break that down? So just like I said, just make sure that you're specific. Like, I want to earn $1 million or whatever. That's like so vague. You know what I mean? Like, you have to kind of know what you're going to do to earn it. So you have to just make sure that you're being specific. Okay. All right, let's go to the M, measurable. How will I know when it's accomplished? How can you measure it? Because something more like, what's a good example? I want to be healthy. How do you measure that? That's where you need to be. That's where I'm trying to get, like, you need to be more specific with being healthy. What does being healthy mean to you? Because being healthy might mean something different to me than being healthy to Sarah. So for somebody, it might mean losing weight. For some people, it might be eating enough protein in a day. I mean, I'm just trying to, throw things out there, but that's very broad. Right. And then how could, like, just saying, I want to be healthy, how can you measure that necessarily? Because you have to be more specific about what you're wanting. Because if it's more of a weight goal, then you could say, I want to lose 20 pounds. Well, then how long do you want to give yourself to lose those 20 pounds? And then you can break it down farther than that. So can your goal be measured for progress? Measurements will give you specific feedback and it will hold you accountable. Okay, does that make sense on that one? Okay. All right, attainable is the A. You want to feel challenged, but you also want to be able to attain it. So that's when I say, like, even like using weight as an example, I want to lose 100 pounds. Is that the best thing for you to just say? Should it be 100 pounds, or should I start with increments of I want to lose 25, I want to lose another 25, I want to lose another 25, I want to lose another 25? Like, is that better? You know, what is attainable? Are you like, there's reason to push yourself, but then there's also like, are you being unrealistic about it? You know what I mean? Like, you have to, I mean, like day one of joining this company, I'm probably not going to want to say that I'm going to be a national executive director with Pampered Chef on day one, which is the top level of our company, Kristen. Mm-hmm. You probably aren't going to say that. I mean, there might be, because we've had, I think the youngest consultant that has became a NED, we call them, was 2 years. She became all the way up the 9 levels of the career plan. So, I mean, it's doable, but I don't think most of us are going to say that. So I might want to say, like, when I start, I want to be a team leader, which means I have 2 people recruited under me that are working their business. So what is attainable for you? So make sure you're not putting too much pressure on yourself, if you will. I mean, you do want to make sure that it's challenging, because if it's too easy, that's not fun either. And you probably aren't going to work as hard for it either. So make sure that you're really thinking about what's attainable, what's going to hold you accountable. Goals should push you, but it's important that they're achievable. So are your goals attainable? Make sure you're asking yourself that. Okay, the R. So the R can be relevant. It also can be realistic. So kind of even the attainable part of it. Does it seem worthwhile, the goal you've set? So don't create a goal that will discourage you from accomplishing it. So that's probably what I'm kind of meaning to about like the healthy one, like losing weight, for instance. We probably discourage ourselves when we say we want to lose 100 pounds. You know, you probably aren't being very realistic when you say that. Not saying it can't be done, but should you put that much pressure on yourself to begin with? Do you want to break it down more and be more specific? Your goal and time frame should be realistic, okay? Because like 100 pounds, you're probably not doing it very healthy if you're losing 100 pounds in a month. You know what I mean? So make sure that you're thinking about being relevant and being realistic. Okay, so the T, and this one can be kind of a touchy one. Time bound. When will I accomplish this goal? What are my start and end dates? And this, so that is supposed to help with accountability and motivation. Some people in like the direct selling network marketing world of like experts and even just other, you know, business builder people and motivational power or motivational speaking people, they'll say that sometimes it's not, goals don't always need a timeline. It kind of depends on the goal. So some people kind of have a question about that, but you know, it might be like, I'm just going to use health again as an example. So like losing 100 pounds, sometimes you might not want to have a necessarily an end date on that, because losing 100 pounds can take a lot of work. And it's also something that it can be frustrating and you don't want to discourage yourself. So I'm going to lose 100 pounds in 90 days might not be a very good timeline for you. That's where, again, you need to be specific and maybe measure out what's more attainable and relevant. And I just went right through the list there. Smart, measurable, attainable, relevant. You need to think about it. Because that can be a lot of pressure on yourself if you're just trying to get healthy. However, if you need to lose 100 pounds before you can have knee replacement surgery, you probably need to try to have a timeline on that, because it's probably your health is in being impaired from that anyway. So do you kind of understand what I mean? Where sometimes things need a timeline and some things might take more, and it might just frustrate you with the timeline. Obviously, when we're working towards like a trip incentive, we have to have those points in the computer by December 31st, 2022 to earn that trip. And Dominique and Sarah can tell you that's how they were feeling the last week of December because they had big goals. Dominique wanted to earn her first trip, and Sarah wanted to earn the elite level of the trip so she could earn an extra day on vacation. And just for the simple fact that she could do it. That was her thing, is I'm going to do this year. I'm going to earn a top level trip. So do you kind of understand what I'm saying about the difference between timely and like, there can be some things that have to be more timely and some things that aren't so much. Like I have one in my journal that I do that says, I'm an exceptional mom. I might not ever be an exceptional mom, like over the top exceptional, but dang, I'm going to keep trying my hardest every day. Does that make sense? Like, so I might not ever, but I still like to write that down every day and remind me, or, I have a healthy and loving relationship with my husband. That's just something that Daryl and I are going to strive for every day of our marriage. But it's not something that, by next December on our first anniversary, we're going to have a healthy and loving. Like you can't really put a time on, you know what I mean? Like you can't really put a time on that. Like it's weird. So think, don't necessarily let time impede what you want. You know what I mean? Because you have to think about what the goal is, and is really time the right word for, that particular goal, or the right thing for that goal. Okay. So does everybody kind of understand SMART? And do you guys have any questions on that? I think the biggest thing for me was when I kind of first started learning how to set goals is the specific part is making my goal too broad. It's like, nope, I can't, 100 pounds or earning $1 million or earning national executive director. It's like, I gotta be, first off, I have to recruit somebody to move up in their career plan. So I think maybe in my first goal, I might want to be a senior consultant, which is 1 recruit, or a team leader, which is 2 recruits. Break it down. That's probably what I did, is I thought too big and made it too unattainable and just unrealistic. And you have to be more specific so you have a way to be able to measure it. Okay. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay.
No.
All right. Okay. So goals for 2022. Things I want you guys to think about a little bit. And I know for like Kristen, that's just starting out. This is brand new. Hopefully I'm not overwhelming you, but here's some things you might want to think about for the year. Okay. So the first one is, what title will I hold each month? So I talked earlier about being paid at your title. So if you have 2 recruits on your team and you're a team leader, you have criteria that needs to be met in order for you to get paid as a team leader. So for you to get paid as a team leader, you have to have 2 active consultants. So active means they have to be at least submitting $150 in sales. So you need to be in communication with the people that you've recruited to make sure that they've set some goals for themselves. So they're paid at their title. So that's just the steps that you have to take, because if they're not submitting, you still hold the title as team leader for a couple of months. But then if you're not getting paid as team leader, you'll jump back down. You're going to get paid as a consultant then, or as a senior consultant only if one of them. So same thing with directors. You know, you have to have $750 in sales, and then you have to have 5,000 total as a team. So not all you have to have at least 750, but you need to be in communication with your team to see what they've got shows on their calendar. What can you do to help them if they don't? Because once you get paid in those upper level roles, you really want your paycheck. So that's one of those things that we should strive for, is what title are you going to hold? And then are you getting paid at that title? And this is another one too, is, you know, we like to break things up in quarters on our team. We do dinner of excellence. So we recognize the people that made efforts in their business for each quarter of the year. So for January, February, and March, those consultants will get rewarded in April with a dinner. And, you know, do you want to earn that every month? Because those excellence or dinner of excellence achievers, those are the people that are like moving forward. They've got shows on their calendar. They're earning trips. Those are really important. So that's a really good way, is to also break things down. You know, you can break things down by month, but what do you want to accomplish in the first quarter of the year? So think about that, make some goals for the first, you know, the different quarters in the year. And that was where I wanted you guys to print off that 90-day growth plan. And if you didn't, no biggie, you can go back and find it and dash and print it. That is 90 days. That has you strive and plan for 90 days of growth. So I want you guys to look over that. I'm sure there was a course and dash for it too. So how many team members do you want is another one I want, or do you want to add, excuse me. How many team members do I want to add? So that's another goal you should strive for this year, if that's important to you. You're self-employed, so you can do what you want with your business, but is that something that's important for you, that you want to try to add team members this year? So what also is like, what are you wanting from your business? What can this business do for you? Is it something that this business is going to help me pay off debt? This goal is going to help me earn a vacation. This goal is going to help me, or my business is going to help me stay home with my children. This business is going to help pay my child's college tuition. You know, what is this business going to do for you to know what you want from your business? And some people do just, you know, their goal could be, I want to have fun by getting out and doing one live cooking show a month. You know, it doesn't have to be always something that's with a money or like a financial benefit to it some way. I mean, like when Lori first started her business, literally she needed to get a hobby and she thought this would be fun. And look at her now. She's moving up in the career plan and she's doing this as basically her full-time job now. So, but knowing what you want from your business, what could this business be for you, is a really big question to ask yourself. You are the key to the success you have this year. You're the only one that can do it. I can guide you if you want my help, but I can't make you do anything. I can't do anything for you. I can, I do, you'll hear me say this sometimes, and sometimes it might sound a little harsh, but it is something I want you to think about. Is I like to say, I can only put into you what you put into yourself, because I cannot do your business for you. What are you working your business for? What could this business do for you? And I also want you to think about these 6 different categories as far as goal setting. So think about these categories that you can focus on. This is your life, your goal. So dream big. So I'm going to have you write these 6 things down that are probably the ones to think about. So number 1 is business, not necessarily in this priority order. This is what the first one I have written down. Business. Number 2 is personal growth. That's the one of those ones that I never realized was going to be something that I would get from this business, is how much I've grown as a person. I did not think about that coming in. It wasn't even a thought. I just thought, oh, I need to make some extra money and I needed to have flexibility. But I have grown so much from this. Number 3, finances. Is there a goal that you have financially that you want to set? Number 4, family. Do you have like a family goal? And that can mean different things, like you want to, take a vacation every year with your family, or I can't even think right now, but you know what I mean, family. Number 5 could be spirituality, like you want, focusing on you and your, mental health.
Kelly, I will say for family, through this business, I will be able to spend more time with my family.
Right. So, maybe family could be like, I want to do this many shows a month because then I won't have to, like, maybe I could get rid of my part-time job or whatever, you know what I mean? Like whatever that way. So that was for me too. It was, my kids would have been at a babysitter a lot when Graham was working as a chef. He just was never home. So my kids would have been in daycare all the time. So, that was really important for me to be able to make this much money a month so I could stay home with my kids. So that's kind of a finance and a family one. So yeah, some of these are going to kind of overlap in the categories. Even this next one, number 6, is health and fitness. Spirituality to me is probably more of like mental health than just growing yourself personally, but so kind of personal growth too, but health and fitness too. Those are the kind of one, like kind of, some people like to make goals about exercise. They want to get 10,000 steps in a day, or they want to exercise for 30 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week or something. So, this is your life. And, when I'm going to talk a little bit next about the practice that I do. So I use the Start Today journal system by Rachel Hollis. I learned of Rachel just a few months before my husband passed away. I had been listening to her and her husband at the time. I'd been listening to their Facebook Lives every morning, and I was getting a lot of inspiration from them. I really liked their message. And then I read her book, Girl Wash Your Face. I would still highly recommend her book, Girl Wash Your Face and Girl Stop Apologizing. They were very beneficial to me. And then a couple months later, Graham passed away after I kind of had started doing that. And then about a month after Graham passed away, there was a documentary that us as a team, some of us went to the documentary in the theater, and it was just so helpful to me and made me really start like, okay, I need to really focus. I have a lot of big goals for 2019. And I really needed I needed to have something to focus on anyway, because it was probably the only way that I was going to make it through just grief and trying to keep, an 11-year-old and a 17-year-old at the time, on task and emotionally stable and all of that, trying to get through the loss of their dad. And so this just grounded me, if you will, this practice that she introduced me to in the Smart Today journal. You do not have to have her journal. You can just do it in a notebook. But this is what the pages in the journal look like. And she also has a priority planner, which I was using. Now I'm trying to use Belinda Ellsworth's planner this year. So I'm not getting the priority planner right now, but I'm the Start Today journal practice. And so in this journal practice, every day I write 5 things that I am grateful for. And you want to think about it as not such huge things. You want to like think about the little things in your life and be appreciative for those. So like, you don't want to be like, I'm thankful for my kids. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm not saying that I'm not grateful for my kids, but like one I could say is, I am grateful that Kewen passed her exams this week. So I'm grateful for Kewen, but I'm grateful because she passed her exam this week. So break it down. I'm grateful that I was able to afford to take Kewen and her friend and rent 2 hotel rooms. So I had one and they had one, and they could swim last night. Little things. I'm thankful that you could be thankful, like if we had a week of gloomy days or something, you could be thankful that the sun is shining today. The little things that you really sometimes, and it sounds weird, but sometimes it's hard to think of 5. You really have to dig deep, and it makes you really think and appreciate those little things in your life that sometimes I think we all take for granted, Then in her practice and on her website at the Hollis Co., you can watch some videos that will kind of walk you through this entire practice. And she also has it in the beginning of the journal. She has kind of have to do that. So she has you do some vision casting, if you will, kind of like brainstorming and things you want. And then she wants you to write 10 dreams I made happen. So she wants you to write them as if they already happened. So I'm also trying, so here's one, for instance, of mine. I do want to be a national executive director someday. That is something that's on my list. But I know that I need to get this, and this. I have 4 more steps to get there. So I'm not going to kill myself by putting, I'm a national executive director with Pampered Chef yet. That will be on the line there someday. But right now, I'm almost back to senior director, and then the next level is executive director. So I, right now in my journal, have, I am a senior director, or I'm an executive director with Pampered Chef. So I write that every single day. These 10 dreams could also be your positive affirmations. So you don't even necessarily have to write them down separately. They could be all your positive affirmations. So I have a couple about my relationship with my husband and my kids. I have a couple about health, and then a couple about like personal growth, like even as like I'm trying to be even better about like the upkeep of my home. So like I have in there, I keep an organized home. It's just something that I just want to work on, because sometimes I have more room at my new house, and I can keep things a little bit more organized. So I want to make sure that I'm doing that and not getting off track with that. And I also, when Daryl's boys come home on the weekends, I want them to not like have the house be in utter chaos when they get there for the weekend. So that's kind of one of my things I have on there. And then I think I have 4 right now that are based on my business. One of them that I write every single day, and I probably will never, ever, ever stop writing it, is I plan my days for growth. And the other one I have is I use systems to help my team and myself grow. I will probably never, ever stop writing those 2, because I'm never going to be perfect on those or have them ever really accomplished. So how does everybody understand that? You see how that could be beneficial to your thinking every day? And some days, there is days that when I'm writing it, I feel like I'm just writing, because you do kind of get like you learn them. So, but the idea is that at the end of you can't really see it. It's kind of towards the bottom. It says the goal I'm working towards or something. I can't read it. My thing is on the wall.
I'm going to cheat.
Oh, gee, thank you. So then you pick one of those goals, and her priority planner was to focus on quarters of the year. So this was another reason why I really started focusing on quarters too. It made me think like, geez, yeah, you're right. I should probably not think all the way to the end of the year. How am I going to measure it out to get it there? So think in quarters. So then one of my ones, I will write at the bottom that I'm going to try to strive for by this quarter. Okay. And then if you accomplish it in those 3 months, then you can probably take that goal off your list and make a new one within that list of 10. Or you can work on another one, however you want to do it. But the idea is to be focusing on one, but you still always kind of have other things going in your head. So you've always got a lot going on there, but there's always things that we're going to be striving for. Okay. So like I said, you could really do this just in a notebook. It's not like you have to have her journal. Okay. So hold on here. I think I got through all of that. I believe the videos are still at starttoday.com. I will double check that though. I forgot to do that to double check. Okay, so a vision board. That's what we're going to go to next. I don't want to keep you guys on here much longer. A vision board is a special board that displays what you want in life. When you hang it in a space where you see it daily, your vision board brings your goals and vision to life. A vision board is a physical representation of a goal or goals that you're aiming to achieve. It is a collage of items that are meant to kickstart your imagination and help you visualize those goals. Think of it like a Pinterest board, but in the real world. Something you can pin photos, magazine cutouts, keepsakes, and other bits of awesomeness in order to keep you inspired and motivated towards something you want to do, to be, to have, or to otherwise manifest. So I have been doing the last couple of years, I have been making my vision boards on a digital platform. Some people still like to get a poster board and cut out magazines. The problem I've been finding is I don't really buy magazines anymore. So I don't really want to go and spend $30, $40 on buying magazines because I don't know if you guys have checked lately, magazines are expensive now. They're expensive just to go through and try to find pictures and words. So the last few years, so this was 2 years ago. I kind of wanted to show you like two. So this was 2 years ago. You will always, always, always see a Wonder Woman picture on my vision board because that's how I want to think of myself. And the power of the superhero pose. Have you guys ever heard the story of the power of the superhero pose? I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about that. Kristen may have never. Dominique, have you ever heard me talk about it before?
Yeah, I don't remember. Like if you do it for 10 seconds a day, like something, I don't remember.
Yeah. Hold on a second here. I should have this like tagged in something so I don't have to look it up every time. Okay, so scientific study shows that if you stand in a superhero pose for just 5 minutes before a job interview, before a big presentation, or really any kind of a hard task, you will not only feel more confident, you will perform immeasurably better. Power posing like a superhero transforms you into one. Harvard social scientists affirm that just even 120 seconds of a powerful posture increases testosterone and about 20%, it increases it about 20% while dropping your stress hormone, cortisol, about 25%. So superhero posture turns you into a superhero. So if you're ever, I don't know, the one of the first times I ever saw it too, like used like socially, if you will, is on an episode of Grey's Anatomy, there was a really hard surgery that needed to be performed, and Meredith stood in a superhero pose. And so I was like, oh! Like, it was awesome. And Wonder Woman was like my fave growing up. Like, I loved her. And I love the Linda Carter Wonder Woman. Like, I love the old school. So you will always see a Wonder Woman picture on my pose. And it was funny, this week I was subbing in 4-year-old kindergarten this week, and the teacher got stuck in a meeting. So I'm in a room of 20 kids trying to figure out what I'm going to do for 15 minutes with them so they don't be jumping on the tables and blah, blah, blah. And so the day before, we had done this cute little thing with, it was called a B-bot, and like you could press like different arrows on it and it would turn. So I just put them in I said, okay, guys, we're going to sit down in circle time, and each person's going to get to make the B-bot move. And all of the sudden, I didn't know you had to clear it every time. Otherwise, it would keep repeating from the last steps. So like by the time we got to like the third kid, this B-bot thing was like going all over the floor because it had gotten like 12 directions by that time because I didn't know to clear it. And so I was like, Lily, do you have superpowers or something? Are you magical? And so that was like the joke, like the whole week. Mrs. Moore, do you have magical powers? Like, so Friday, yesterday, I subbed too, and I have a Wonder Woman mask. And I'm like, look, I do have superpowers. Like, that was like the joke in class this week. So I bring Wonder Woman a lot for me. So I try to think of things that in quotes and phrases that are going to inspire me. So, one of my ones is from a couple years ago was, what if I just don't break this promise? Like, if I say that I'm going to walk 3 times a week for a half an hour, what if I actually did that and didn't like stop doing it after a week? How, could I lose 20 pounds in 3 months then if I was walking at least 3 times a week? What if I just don't break that promise? And I mean, you can see different things. I was really trying to believe in myself a lot. And so I felt like I just need to keep smiling and keep moving. And, this was another big one for me that year, is the bottom quote. In the bottom left quote, you can look at your life and see chaos and stress, or you can look at your life and see blessings. You have to put everything in your life in perspective. So this is the kind of stuff to me that's, was important. And I was, working on promoting to senior director. I love different things that Lady Gaga says. At the bottom, I would write the different things that I was really trying to focus on and earn for the year. At that time, I had lost my elite seller status. So I wanted that back, and I wanted to earn an elite trip, which I did. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go on that trip because of stinking COVID and my health last year, but this was what I wanted for my 2020. And Be Fierce Beyonce, I love that. I will have that coffee mug someday. I will have that coffee mug. So I wanted to share the one I have for this year. So this is my 2022 one. I want to be paid as an elite seller every month. My Wonder Woman is still there, of course. I can do anything. That's one thing I like to tell myself too, is I can do anything. And my Lady Gaga one says, you can be whoever you choose to become in the future. Just do it. Just see it and visualize it, and every day of your life, project that about yourself. So you can do whatever you want. I'm focusing on earning executive director. And then I've had a goal for a couple of years now. We have not achieved it, and I am still going to keep pushing for it, that I want to have 100 recruits in our organization by the end of 2022. I double my goal of personal recruits. So I want 30 new recruits just personally myself this year. I'm probably crazy, but I'm going to shoot for it. I would love to double organizational sales over this year. This year we sold $632,000 in 2021. So I'd like to double that. Then we would be $1 million organization. I would love personal sales of 100,000 or more. I would love to earn excellence awards in 3 categories. And I'm really my daughter's middle name is Tuscany. My late husband, like I said, was a professional chef, and he picked that name for her. And he always said that he was going to take her to Italy. And so, gosh, wouldn't that be awesome if I earned the executive trip and I could take it to her as like an early graduation present for her? I would love that. So I'm going to focus really hard on that. And if I'm an executive director too, I started leasing my first car last year. You get a car allowance when you're an executive director, and that would pay my lease payment. Plus I'd have an extra $100 because you get $500. So that's one of those things I have. And a little bit about my family is I feel so complete again. Graydon is actually moving in with us probably this next week. So I'm really excited about that. My son was very much struggling with me having a new relationship and getting married, but he's really come around the last few months and has really made a great effort. And so this was our very first, well, we did have one at Christmas, but then for the wedding on New Year's Eve, this is like, I can't wait to get this picture printed and have it on our wall at home of all of us together as a family. And so one of my things I wanted on here just to keep me focused on my family is when we have each other, we have everything. So, so this is my vision board for 2022. Has anybody started theirs yet?
No, ma'am.
I need Canva training before I can start one.
This I did in Google Slides, Sarah.
Oh.
This is just a Google slide. Yep.
Oh, I'm going to try it then.
Yeah. So this was just a Google slide, and then you used like I like cut and pasted the pictures and then just shrunk them to however big I wanted them. And then wherever there's text, I just inserted a text box. So that was really not bad. Yeah.
Okay.
But I could have done it on Canva too, but I was like, well, I've been doing it on Google Slides, so I just kept doing it that way. So does that
mine is in my Belinda planner.
Ooh. I haven't looked that far to know that there was one in there. Maybe I'll print it up and put it in there.
Yeah, it's awesome. Doing mine.
Awesome.
Are you actually pasting pictures into that, Lori? Because I saw that too, but I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sarah, what you could do is if you did it digitally, you could just print it and put it in there.
Yeah.
I will make this
in your planner each day. So the thought is you're looking at it each
day.
So.
Well, my thing too is like, I will take this picture now and I will make it my like background on my computer screen.
Oh, that's what I was just asking.
Yeah, it'll pop up like that too. So a vision board can be very powerful. I love to go back and look at this. And as a matter of fact, well, now I'm not going to have an office because Graydon's moving in. So, so I got Wonder Woman's picture, this picture of her. I ordered a print of it and I had it put in a frame. It was going to be on my wall in my office. So eventually when he moves back out, he is 20. I will get my office back someday and that picture will go up in it. So I don't think Daryl would appreciate me putting it in our bedroom though. So he shouldn't do that.
Never know, Daryl.
I don't know. He might be into it, right? So yeah. So does that help with kind of like understanding kind of what a vision board should be?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So again, when you're thinking about dreams and goals and stuff, like don't make it too crazy and hard on yourself to like, make things that are going to be achievable. Obviously, your family and stuff like that and relationships are always going to be a work in progress. But I want that to be the focus of my life too. Most of the reason why I do my business is so I can pay for things for them and support them. And, one of my big new things, we were talking about this on a call with our national exec the other day, but I have a word of the year too. And my word of the year is, oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. What is my word?
I don't remember.
My God, I can't even think right now. I had changed it.
Wasn't it prosper?
Thank you. I wanted to say persevere, and I'm like, that's not right. Prosper. Prosper is like there's like a financial meaning to prosper, but then there's also just like growing. And one of my things now that Daryl and I are together is that he's been a teacher for 25 years. teaching has gotten extremely difficult the last couple of years. And, Daryl has a 6-year-old, or we have a 6-year-old, and he was really feeling like he wasn't going to be able to retire at the age he really kind of wanted to retire to, because usually you can retire at about 55 as a teacher. And he's going to be 50 this summer. So he's feeling like it's not happening. Isaac's little, it's not going to happen. And I really want to have him be able to retire sooner. So I really want to continue to grow, which I already had that in my goals anyway, but I really, really want that so Daryl can retire at a sooner age than he's thinking he's going to have to. So that, that's all my family too. That's going to be so important for Isaac's high school years. He might be able to coach him. He might be able to, we should be able to go to all of his games and stuff. He's a big sports kid. I'm sure that's going to continue. I know he's only 6, but he just has that drive in him. I just want us to be able, him to be able to have that. So I want that for our family. So my family is always my focus, whether it's financially, if it's, just being able to support and have them live happily. So yeah, word of the year can be a really powerful thing too. I gave some of the girls a training. Well, actually it was on the team page too. John Maxwell it was a year in review. So he always he's a big business leader, and he always takes his calendar the last week of December and goes over every single day of the previous year and decides if things were worth doing. But did they, think again about that phrase I said earlier, is this going to move you forward? He talks a lot about that. Is what I'm doing, so even like a retreat we went to, was this retreat beneficial? Should I do it again? Is it going to move me forward? So think about everything in that. Another one is like vendor booths. That's what I do with a lot of that. I did this vendor booth last year. I didn't make any money and there was only 100 people there. Was it worth it when I get asked to do it again next year? Should I turn it down or should I take it? So think about like that. So I know that Sarah said that course was really beneficial to her, made you think, and then talking about choosing your one word and when you're going through things that you're doing and things that you're putting on your calendar, is that getting closer to what you wanted from your one word of the year? So you can look up like the one word theory. There's a ton of different people that practice that. I'll see if I can find something and put it on the team page, but finding your word of the year. I still also have bracelets that we can make, you can print your word on. So I can take those out on recipe night if anybody's coming, and you can make a bracelet if you want to wear for this year with your word on it. And if it's something obviously like Connie, you're gone, if you have your word and you want me to make one for you, I can mail it to you. Because I'm pretty sure I still have plenty of bracelets. If not, I'll order some more. Okay. So just send me your word and I can get it to you. Okay. If that's something you guys want to do, Kristen, too. Okay. And then it just kind of reminds you too of what you're going for. So obviously I need to put Prosper on here. That's one thing I should do. I didn't think about that before. I should put my Prosper on my vision board. So, okay. So does anybody have any questions? Otherwise I'll get you guys off of here. I got to be out of my hotel room in 40 minutes here. The girls are still sleeping.
My God.
Uh-huh. Anybody?
Up at 4:30 this morning.
She what?
She went to work with Jim this morning. So she got up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I don't think they stayed up too late though, because I didn't hear them. I mean, it was only 2 of them. In the past year, she's had like 4 or 5 girls in there, but she just had her one friend this year. So I didn't hear them. So I went to sleep probably by like 11, I think, 10:30. I didn't hear them. So they must have not gotten too crazy over there. But anybody have questions or anything? No? You guys good?
I don't think so. Okay. I mean, I've been able to write down a lot of stuff with ideas and whatnot.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope that was worth your time. And if you have anybody on your team that didn't get to come on today, just make sure that I'm going to put up the recording and just share with them that it was helpful. Okay. All right. Well, you guys have a great Saturday. And I will talk to Dom and Sarah on Monday for our director meeting. And then we got to decide what we're making for recipe night. So we haven't figured that out yet. All right.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. You guys have a great weekend, okay?
Bye.
You too.
Bye.